All right, let's dive right in. If you're a business owner out there and you feel like you're just constantly buried under the day-to-day grind, this is for you. We're going to talk about a pretty revolutionary idea. What if, what if you could clone the absolute best version of yourself? You know, the one who's always organized and always consistent. Let's start with a feeling I bet every single person listening knows all too well, but we just don't talk about it enough. This quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? That nagging feeling that you're the only one who can't seem to keep all the plates spinning? Well, here's the truth. It is not a personal failure. It's this huge, unspoken, universal challenge that every single leader faces. And it all starts in the trenches of the daily grind. So let's get real about the actual problem here. It's not the big, sexy projects. It's not your brilliant, creative ideas. Nope. The real killer is the relentless, boring, repetitive stuff. The things you absolutely have to do every single day at a specific time just to keep the lights on and the engine running. Okay, so look at this schedule. This is the dream, right? This is the perfect day for a manager. You're on top of everything, checking in, giving feedback. It's beautiful. But let's be honest. How often does a day actually look like this? A client has an urgency, a meeting goes way over, or maybe you're just not feeling it. And just like that, poof, the whole perfect schedule just completely falls apart. And when that perfect schedule inevitably shatters, and it always does, what's the result? You get inconsistency. You miss important check-ins, and worst of all, you start blaming yourself. You think, oh, I should have been more disciplined. When the real truth is that any system that demands this kind of robotic perfection from a flesh and blood human is just, well, it's fundamentally flawed from the start. This feeling is so incredibly common. There's a really powerful analogy that explains it perfectly. It's called the building a room problem, and it gets right to the heart of why we feel so stuck sometimes.
Seriously, have you ever had one of those weeks? You know the one. You were busy from sunup to sundown, you worked your tail off, but when you get to Friday and look back, you think, what did I actually get done? You feel like you've made zero progress. Why does that happen?
Well, imagine your job is to build a simple four-walled room. On Monday, you're focused and you lay a brick perfectly in one corner. But on Tuesday, you're distracted by a dozen emails, so you lay another brick in a totally different spot. Without a map, and without a perfect memory of where you left off yesterday, you're still working hard every day, but you never actually build the room. The walls never go up. So what is the solution here? What if you had a partner who never, ever forgot where you laid that last brick? A partner who every single morning hands you the blueprint and says, okay, here's exactly where we are, and here's the very next brick you need to lay. And that right there is the core idea of an AI executive assistant. Look, this is not just another productivity app. Think of it as a bridge. We all have that creative, big-picture planning mind that comes up with brilliant strategies. And then we have our chaotic, puts-out-fires execution mind that lives in the daily mess. This assistant is the bridge that connects the two, making sure those brilliant plans actually happen. So how does it actually do this? Well, it basically has four main jobs. First, it reminds and guides you. It's that tap on the shoulder saying, hey, remember the plan? Here's what's next. Second, it stores those plans so they are never forgotten. Third, it actually evaluates the work being done against the plan, checking estimated versus actual progress. And finally, it analyzes what's going right and what's going wrong so you can make smart corrections. It's your memory and your map, all rolled into one. Okay, this all sounds pretty amazing, but for this to really work, the assistant can't just be a blank slate. It can't be some generic tool. It needs to understand your business as deeply as you do. You literally have to teach it the fundamentals. So to truly become your partner, you've got to feed the AI this foundational knowledge, these 9 pillars of your business. And we're not just talking about surface-level stuff. It needs to get the big picture, your core vision and mission, but also the nitty-gritty tactical details, like who's on your org chart and what are the standard operating procedures for key tasks. By learning everything from your 90-day plan to your company values, it can finally start to think and operate on your behalf. So once the AI has basically gone to business school for your company, it can do way more than just track your to-do list. It can start automating one of the most time-consuming parts of any manager's day, all those key conversations. So let's just imagine a classic scenario here. You're a project manager. You are stuck right in the middle. You've got a director above you who has high expectations, and you've got a sales manager below you who needs your guidance and support. You know this position well, right? This is where all the communication chaos lives.
This table, this is your daily life in a nutshell. You're getting pressure from your director about weak numbers, while at the same time, your sales manager is telling you they need better leads. Now, imagine your AI assistant sees that message from your director. Because it knows your 90-day plan and it knows you've been asking for marketing support, it can instantly draft a perfect reply for you. A reply that gives a status update while also reinforcing your strategic needs. It manages the chaos based on the plan you already created. So, if an AI can handle the daily check-ins, the reporting, and it can even draft your most important communications, what does that mean for your role? I mean, what's even left for you to do? And this is the real payoff. This is the whole point. You are finally freed from that reactive, exhausting daily grind. Your energy completely shifts from putting out fires to doing high-level, creative, strategic planning. You get to spend your best hours thinking about the future, designing the next room to build, while your AI partner is down on the ground laying the bricks perfectly, one by one, every single day. Which brings us to one last really provocative thought. Imagine an employee who never forgets a single detail, never gets distracted, never has a bad day, and executes your strategic vision with perfect consistency. In the future of work we're heading into, could an AI partner like this actually become your single most valuable employee? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us.